From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Mayor Greg Stanton gave his State of the City address today, and Phoenix is exploring some changes.
The polls are open and candidates are looking for big wins in New York's primary.
And they serve the United States, but some veterans are finding themselves stuck in a completely different country.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Ben Marjan.
And I'm Alexis Solari. Thanks for joining us.
Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton gave his State of the City address today, and the city is preparing for some big changes.
Cronkite News reporter Gilbert Cordova tells us what's in store for the future of Phoenix.
From an update on the city's economy to its innovation in transportation, today's address was as expected, but speculation of a new attraction to the city had many people's attention.
Fast. And in so many ways, we had no choice. We were fighting for our economic survival.
Many of the Valley's political and business leaders gathered to hear the plan Mayor Greg Stanton has for the rest of the year.
And more importantly, we're building an economy that includes everyone and a real opportunity for everyone.
The mayor says he wants to bring a new arena to downtown that would be shared by several pro teams.
I, as mayor, will do everything I can to pursue a course that makes a new facility home to the Suns, the Mercury, and the Coyotes. Building 2 new sports arenas in our region doesn't make fiscal or common sense.
Todd Sanders, president and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Chambers, opened the address and says it is too early to tell what the future holds for the Valley's teams.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about an arena, the Suns arena. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the Diamondbacks. We understand there might be a proposal out there. We haven't had a chance to really look at the numbers or understand what the proposal looks like.
There has been debate on a joint arena for some time, but today was the first push to move the idea towards any action. Currently, the Suns still hold a lease on Talking Stick Resort Arena here in Phoenix, and the Coyotes are still in a battle with the city of Glendale on their future at the Gila River Arena. Our Cronkite sports team has been working on an in-depth multimedia project on the Valley sporting arenas. Look out for that in the weeks to come here on Arizona PBS. In downtown Phoenix, I'm Gilbert Cordova, Cronkite News.
But arena issues aren't slowing down the Arizona Coyotes. The team just made a big move off the ice.
The Coyotes bought the Springfield Falcons to serve as their minor league team. The Coyotes want to move the Falcons from Massachusetts to Tucson, where they would play at the Tucson Convention Center. The deal still has to be approved by the NHL Board of Governors, and a lease with the Convention Center still needs to be signed. The race for the White House continued today. Polls are open in New York's primary election.
Both frontrunners Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are looking to advance their leads, with plenty of delegates and bragging rights up for grabs.
Despite a recent string of wins in the past few weeks, Bernie Sanders is still lagging behind Hillary Clinton in overall delegates. Sanders has already moved on to Pennsylvania, which holds its primary next week, but encouraged his supporters to make it out to the polls.
Let us all do everything we can to make sure that New York State has the largest turnout in a Democratic primary in its history.
It feels great, and I am so excited about both campaigning here in New York, voting here in New York, and I love New York, and this has been a joy during the last 2 weeks to be here all over the state.
Donald Trump and his wife cast their votes in New York today. The GOP frontrunner is hoping for a big win in his home state, but opponent Ted Cruz is looking to win more delegates and force a contested convention.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Who knows? It's politics, right? You know that better than I do.
And there's late word this evening that Arizona's senior Senator John McCain will skip the Republican convention this summer. A McCain spokesman tells Cronkite News that the senator will be focusing instead on his own race against Democratic Representative Ann Kirkpatrick in the August 30th statewide primary. Recent polls show McCain and Kirkpatrick deadlocked for his longtime Senate seat.
When wife to presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders visited Tent City, she expected just to view it from behind the gates. But Sheriff Joe Arpaio had a different plan.
Reporter Julia Thatcher sat down with the controversial lawman to discuss the backlash he's received from bringing her inside.
It was very interesting. That day, when asked if she wanted a tour of Tent City, she said yes and seemed to have no reservations about it. But later, her husband, Bernie Sanders, expressed his displeasure, accusing the sheriff of, quote, crashing her meeting.
Whether you support it or not, most in America have heard of Tent City. Jane Sanders visited the compound and used the backdrop to bring light to her concerns on immigration.
What we have to have is comprehensive immigration reform with a path towards citizenship, and we need to do that yesterday.
When she went to see Tent City, she didn't expect to go inside.
Had I known he was here, I probably would have asked to meet with him.
But Sheriff Joe Arpaio wanted to take her in and show her what it's all about, so he did.
She talked to all the inmates, got their side of the story. She's complaining about 130 degrees. Like I told her, our men and women are fighting for our country, living in tents. So I'm not concerned about convicted criminals living in the tents.
And that's when the controversial sheriff found himself a mudslinging target of a presidential candidate, but probably not the one you'd expect.
The fact that he crashed her meeting is, to me, very, very wrong. Not something that he should have done.
Arizona, Sheriff Arpaio, and Tent City are often stops on the campaign trail, but looking back, the sheriff told me this one was different than most.
And it said the people I treat don't have the power to speak out. And then he says, if I'm the President of the United States, I will have the power. And then the veiled threat, watch out, Joe. So what is he doing? Threatening me?
Little, if anything, seemed threatening during Jane Sanders' visit, who had the chance to speak with inmates to get their take on the controversial jail.
I mean, it's all right. It's cool that they got the phones on most of the time so you can call whenever. You get to work, so the time goes a little bit faster, you know?
While some clearly disagree with the living conditions inmates endure while in the facility, the sheriff says he has no plan to change what he says has worked for the past 22 years.
Well, there, Sheriff Arpaio encouraged Jane Sanders to walk around and talk to anyone she wanted. He said he had nothing to hide. In Phoenix, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
Today, the bipartisan U.S. Justice Action Network is highlighting Arizona as part of its 30 States, 30 Days campaign. The group is commending Arizona's senators for backing criminal justice reform at a federal level and pointing to key decisions in our state to reduce recidivism. In a release today, the group commended a 2012 decision in which Arizona created a community corrections alternative to reincarceration for offenders who violate the rules of their supervision. This alternative costs only a fraction of a prison stay and allows offenders to maintain their employment.
Each year, an estimated 2 million people with a serious mental illness are admitted to jails across the country, where officials fear they aren't getting the treatment they need. But Maricopa County officials are working to change that. Reporter Maricela Ramirez has the details from our Washington bureau.
The Stepping Up initiative brought local government, health, and law enforcement officials together in Washington this week, a model that Maricopa County officials said they are using back home to the problem of inmates with mental illness.
We're all willing to look at what we do as individual stakeholders, make the necessary changes, and work together.
Shepard says that in Maricopa County, government and health officials evaluate inmates to see what risks they pose to others and themselves, and to find the best long-term solutions.
We know from the data that interventions and higher criminal justice supervision for low-risk offenders creates more harm.
Jay Ruderman, president of the Ruderman Family Foundation, said that reducing this population starts with education on mental health in the justice system, starting with police officers.
When police approach people with disability, they do not have the adequate education and experience dealing with people with disabilities. And I think that we have to raise the level of sophistication and education among police and the justice system of how to interact with people with disabilities.
Shepard said Maricopa County began collecting data 4 years ago to better understand the needs of those with mental illness. While she says there is no one-size-fits-all approach, she says the right kind of intervention can make a difference.
As I have personally seen how lives have been changed when we in the criminal justice and behavioral health system provide the right kind of intervention, and the light that comes on in an individual's eyes who maybe for the first time recognizes that they can be a contributing member of our society and that they are a valued part of our community.
Reporting in Washington, Maricela Ramirez, Cronkite News.
The IRS expects to process well over 100 million tax returns this season, but weeding out those who cheat on their taxes just got a little bit harder.
Coming up on Cronkite News, the number of tax fraud prosecutions is going down, but not for the reason you might think.
And some U.S. veterans are finding themselves back in the bunker, but they didn't choose to be there.
We are here tonight to explore tough issues.
You've got to have people around you who aren't just laying rose petals in front of your way. And I kid you not, this is true.
Trust is everything.
This has been so much fun.
It's about reaching people.
There are more players on the world stage. The issues are more complex.
We ask the questions that take us closer to the truth.
What happened and what might happen.
Because that's what we do.
Would you like doing something like I do?
I couldn't do this. I'm not qualified.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
The time to file taxes has come and gone, and now the IRS is expected to process over 150 million returns this year. But while the number of returns is up, there are concerns that they will only find a fraction of potential tax fraud cases. Cronkite News reporter Samantha Witherwax is in our Washington bureau with the details.
In Arizona, the number of criminal prosecutions for tax fraud fell from 69 in 2010 to 19 last year, according to TRAC, which is a database of federal records kept by Syracuse University. Nationally, the number of referrals fell 30% in the last 2 years, TRAC said, to the lowest level during the Obama administration. Now, the IRS does not dispute the numbers, telling us in a statement today that steep budget declines have left it unable to hire the agents it needs. One tax watchdog said the drop was to be expected.
It's not surprising that if you reduce the funding to the IRS, you reduce the funding for enforcement, then you're going to get reduced numbers of enforcement actions.
But Pete Sepp with the National Taxpayers Union said that doesn't mean IRS officials are sleeping on the job. Referrals may be down, but Sepp thinks that the IRS is finding other ways to catch cheaters.
The agency is still placing an emphasis on enforcing the tax laws, maybe through other means than actually hauling people into court for criminal charges.
In the last 10 years, within the IRS, administration and bureaucracy funding increased over 150%, while taxpayer service decreased over 40%. But the area where Sepp believes new action is being taken is in the enforcement funding, which has gone up 14%.
It's very easy to say, oh, fewer criminals are being prosecuted in court for tax reasons. The system must be falling apart. That's too simplistic of an answer. It's important to examine other enforcement and examination activities.
But the IRS says the math is simple. The less agents they have, the less cases that can be worked on, and the fewer criminals that are going to be brought to justice. They also said that they can expect to see this trend continue on this year. Reporting from the nation's capital, Samantha Witherwax, Cronkite News.
Since 2001, more than 100,000 immigrants have become citizens after serving in the military. But it's not automatic, and some veterans have been deported. Cronkite News reporter Clara Benitez traveled to a shelter in Tijuana that's helping veterans stuck in Mexico.
All veterans who run into problems with the law face consequences, but those who are not citizens can also be deported. I talked to some of those veterans at the shelter in Tijuana.
Off a busy street in Tijuana, Mexico, hangs a U.S. flag on a door.
This veteran support house, called The Bunker, is where men who served in the military go for help after they're deported.
In the United States, and now you're thrown into a country you really don't know.
That is what happened to Hector Barajas after he was charged with an aggravated felony.
So I did plead guilty in 2002 to a discharge of a firearm into a vehicle, which is PC Code 246 in the state of California. In 2004, I was deported for that.
Barajas had served in the Army as part of the 2nd Airborne Division. He, like many immigrants, thought by enlisting, he'd automatically become a U.S. citizen.
Soldier thinks, well, I raised my hand to the oath of enlistment, which is similar to the naturalization. I'm a citizen. My recruiter told me I'm a citizen, and that's it. You know, you believe everything Uncle Sam tells you and your recruiters and your chain of command.
Barajas set up this shelter to help other deported veterans, like Jesus Antonio Juarez Castillo, who was deported in 2003. Castillo enlisted when he was just 17.
Like a family here, you know, something that I didn't have before. You know, we're real close, all of us, you know. We stay together and we try to help each other.
Providing food, shelter, and support, the bunker has been a blessing for many veterans. Many signed their name on the wall as a symbol of thanks for Barajas.
Not only does the bunker offer in-house resources, for example, staying here, but also offers resources to other deported veterans in different countries.
So we got a guy in India that we currently connected with the ACLU. They're working on a U visa for him. There's another guy in Ecuador.
Deported veterans are not able to get VA benefits, and many suffer from PTSD.
The only way I'm going home is in a bag, in a coffin. So I think if we're going to be allowed to return as American veterans, we should be allowed to live with our American families for the rest of our lives.
Barajas is fighting for deported veteran rights so that one day all veterans can live in the country they fought to defend.
Veterans Day, 4th of July, and you can't say, I'm a veteran also. This is my country.
The Department of Homeland Security now has a program to ensure immigrants who enlist also apply for citizenship and complete the process by the end of basic training. In the Broadcast Center, Clara Benitez, Cronkite News.
Don't judge your food by its cover.
That's the lesson some sustainability students are trying to teach about what may seem like bad apples.
But I'll be telling you why these and many others almost made it into the trash, coming up next.
And Phoenix is known for its desert landscape, but we also have a lot of food deserts as well, so chefs are banding together to teach Phoenicians how to cook with what we have nearby.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
How often do you pass on buying an apple that's not perfectly round or strawberries that don't look red enough? Reporter Amber Kawaji looked into how ugly food is overlooked by consumers and what ASU's School of Sustainability is doing to give ugly food a makeover.
This food is food that would normally not be sold because it has like superficial blemishes or something that make it the appearance doesn't look good, but the food itself is perfectly fine.
ASU's School of Sustainability celebrated its 10-year anniversary complete with an ugly food lunch, an entire picnic made from produce that would otherwise not make it to grocers' shelves. But not all ugly foods are so lucky. Billions of pounds wind up in landfills instead of on people's plates. Take this apple, for instance. It's not perfectly round, and for some consumers, it might deter them from buying it. But what ASU's School of Sustainability wants people to know is that it may not look pretty, but it's still good.
15% of households, nearly, in the U.S. who are food insecure. So connecting these dots is the sort of systemic problem in food systems that the School of Sustainability, the Global Institute of Sustainability, is interested in dealing with.
Many local growers know which specific fruits and vegetables won't make the cut and either donate the ugly food to charities or use the produce as compost. Looking at the ugly food gracing these plates, diners would never know their fruits and veggies started out too ugly to be sold in stores.
I wouldn't know the difference. It was a delicious plate of food, so I was happy as a student especially. We all love free food here at ASU. So.
A harvest enough to feed some 500 people. In Tempe, Amber Kawaji, Cronkite News.
Last month, National Geographic even noted that 1/3 of the country's food goes to waste because of its looks. That's enough to feed 2 billion people.
1 in 5 Arizonans experiences food insecurity, meaning they don't have access to enough food. Reporter Chloe Nordquist tells us about an effort to help bring local produce and health recipes to areas considered food deserts.
Here in Phoenix, there are several food deserts, a term defined by the United States Department of Agriculture as an urban area where it is difficult to buy affordable and quality fresh food. Students at Arizona State University and local chefs are working to create a cookbook to tackle hunger.
Chef Lisa Brish is one of several contributing chefs to Let's Eat Local, a bilingual Phoenix farm-to-table community cookbook.
I submitted a few recipes using vegetables that you probably aren't familiar with, like fennel.
This healthy recipe is for slaw using fennel, a vegetable that's found at farmers markets but not commonly used by the public.
So nothing is cooked and it's done in a matter of minutes.
The idea of the cookbook came from students in a community development class at Arizona State.
What we decided to do is to make a cookbook using local produce and teaching the residents how to use that local produce, because a lot of the times when they're given this free produce, they're not sure what to do with it and it goes to waste.
According to the USDA, 14% of American households were food insecure in 2014. Phoenix has multiple pockets of food deserts. The book will be printed in both English and Spanish.
It's important that the cookbook is bilingual because there's a huge sector of the community that is hungry, that doesn't have English skills, and they need this probably more than people in English in some neighborhoods.
The volunteers created a GoFundMe page for donations to make the cookbook available to those who need it most.
It's very refreshing, especially with the group of ASU students behind the project will distribute the cookbooks for free to communities between 16th Street and 19th Avenue and McDowell Road in South Mountain. Cookbooks will also be available to the residents of the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
In the nation's capital, you'd expect the typical disputes between elephants and donkeys.
But can another four-legged friend be a political game changer? Coming up on Cronkite News, howling in the House, how one Arizona representative is letting his office go to the dogs.
We are here tonight to explore tough issues.
You've got to have people around you who aren't just laying rose petals in front of your way. And I kid you not, this is true.
Trust is everything.
This has been so much fun.
It's about reaching people. There are more players on the world stage. The issues are more complex. We ask the questions that take us closer to the truth.
What happened and what might happen.
Because that's what we do.
Would you like doing something like I do?
I couldn't do this. I'm not qualified.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Hi, I'm Charlie Rose. As part of the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at ASU, Arizona PBS is providing a state-of-the-art venue for the next generation of journalists. From newsrooms in Washington, Los Angeles, and here in Phoenix, students engage in real-time, real-world news reporting, broadcast production, and online innovation. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS working together in new ways to bridge the classroom to the community in the digital age.
Congress has gone to the dogs, at least the 4th floor of the Cannon building.
Cronkite News reporter Katie Bieri has a story from Washington that just might give you pause.
For the most part, Congressman David Schweikert's staff is pretty accommodating.
But a couple staffers especially won't give you the back of the hand.
Or should I say paw?
Oh, she's strong. We actually have a
office tradition. Babies and canines are always invited. We haven't convinced anyone to bring their cat yet. Yes, and the chaos continues.
It's a policy appreciated by all his staffers.
Just the peace of mind that he's not home alone, destroying my apartment.
I don't think I've ever left her at home.
And yes, Congress might have a pack mentality, but Schweikert welcomes dogs from both sides of the aisle.
I know my dog at home is a Democrat because he expects me to clean up after him, he expects me to feed him.
And visitors leave the office with a tale to tell.
It was kind of a nice surge of happiness to be able to come in and actually see an animal in the office, a congressman's office.
It was just a nice kind of welcoming environment. It makes you feel more comfortable coming in.
So besides the minor work annoyances,
we have probably 20 of these around the office.
It's all worth it.
Was it Harry Truman who said if you want a friend in Washington, D.C., get a dog? So we have two. We at least have two friends.
Dixie, Dixie.
In Washington, Katie Beery, Cronkite News.
In case you are wondering, Congressman Schweikert has allowed pooches in his office since his term in the county treasurer's office.
He says it was only appropriate that Congressman's best friend follow his owner to the nation's capital.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll hear about a citizens' initiative in support of net metering and the solar industry. And we'll look at all sides of Proposition 123. That's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour. It's primary day in New York State with a large number of presidential convention delegates up for grabs. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.